From mailing frozen bricks of your own blood to your head of comms, to literally selling out your children's birthright for a London flat. These are the Succession characters you should actually hate, ranked from least to most hateful. Starting with number 1, Hugo Baker. At the very bottom, we've got the players who aren't exactly evil masterminds.
The losers never triumph. I was always hoping,
No, Hugo is just the ultimate pathetic sycophant. He's the guy who will happily smile to your face while stabbing his own morals in the back, just to stay on the executive payroll. Because in Season 4, Hugo is stuck bobbing around on a yacht at Connor's tragic wedding, when Logan is dropping dead on his private jet. And while the rest of the inner circle is having a full-blown existential crisis, somehow his daughter Juliet magically gets the tip-off and panic dumps her Waystar stock before the news even hits the market. We don't actually see Hugo explicitly tell her to sell, but we definitely get the pathetic aftermath. Later, at Logan's penthouse, Kendall overhears Hugo having an absolute meltdown on the phone.
You fucked me right in the ass here. What you've done,
and put him on the hook for a massive insider trading violation. I mean, father of the year right there, guys. But here is where it gets crazy. Instead of keeping his mouth shut, Hugo actually pulls Kendall aside at Logan's wake to confess the whole thing.
I just found out that my daughter, she happened to sell a bunch of Waystar stock.
Hugo confesses to Kendall to try and get ahead of the problem, completely unaware that Kendall had already overheard him on a frantic phone call complaining to Juliet that she pulled out a strap-on and ruined him. But Kendall, he just weaponizes it. Later, when Hugo and Carolina pitch a PR narrative to smear Logan's reputation,
we say that he was losing his focus towards the end.
Roman completely shuts it down. He refuses to trash his dad. But Kendall, he waits until nobody is looking, pulls Hugo aside, and forces him to run that exact dirty smear campaign in total silence.
Roman,
No. Down low. Just get on it.
And to make sure it executes, Kendall brings up the insider trading, quotes the strap-on line right back to him, and literally tells Hugo he's going to be his dog. And what does Hugo do? Does he stand up for himself? No, he just rolls over and takes the leash. Because securing his corporate bag is way more important than his own pride. It proves that at this bottom tier, these guys have absolutely zero spine. Level 2, Sid Peach. You see guys, while Hugo is just trying to save his own skin, Sid is out here actively destroying the country for ratings. As the head of ATN, she is the one gleefully pulling the levers of the propaganda machine. And honestly, you almost have to respect her complete lack of morals because she doesn't even try to hide it. But the real reason she is so incredibly hateable is how she treats everyone around her, especially Tom.
You've got freedom of movement. Why don't you take a look somewhere more comfy?
When Tom Wamsgans gets put in charge of ATN and actually tries to act like a boss, he stumbles onto a massive PR nightmare. He finds out their top anchor, Mark Ravenhead,
Hey Mark, great to see you.
is secretly harboring some extremely dark neo-Nazi sympathies.
You are not and have never been a member of the Nazi Party of the United States.
The guy literally named his dog Blondie, after Hitler's dog,
And, oh yes, the Hitler dog thing.
and read Mein Kampf multiple times.
Have you ever read Mein Kampf?
I mean, who reads Mein Kampf multiple times just for context? So Tom panics and wants to sideline him to protect the network. But Sid? Sid defends Ravenhead just because his viewership numbers are high. She goes right over Tom's head, leveraging her direct line to Logan to completely undercut Tom's authority and keep Ravenhead on the air. Level 3, Sandy Furness. Now, Sandy is the absolute definition of a walking bioweapon of pure spite. He and Logan have this ancient, bitter rivalry that goes so deep, nobody even really remembers how the whole thing started.
Is that Sandy Furness?
Oh, yes.
Keep talking. Keep talking. I don't want to bump
But
him.
Sandy doesn't just want to beat Logan in business, he wants to completely humiliate him. Because when Sandy and Stewie launch their massive hostile takeover, the infamous bear hug, it completely backs the Roy family into a corner.
Is this a fucking bear hug?
That's right.
But as the seasons go on, Sandy's health totally deteriorates. I mean, the guy is literally incapacitated, sitting in a wheelchair, and having his daughter Sandy translate his barely audible whispers.
Go in again.
And honestly guys, imagine hating your rival so much that you refuse to step down or go to a hospital just so you can ruin their Tuesday. Even when Logan is forced to the table and offers a totally reasonable settlement that would make everyone billions, Sandy refuses the deal.
We're gonna go have a think, right? Let's let the lawyers get to work.
He literally forces his daughter to block it because he just wants to watch Logan bleed out in a proxy battle. Y'all, the level of pettiness here is just astronomical. But if you think Sandy's open hostility is toxic, wait until you meet the guys who pretend to be the good guys.
But I'm gonna go for his throat. Legally, legislatively, hearings, referrals.
Which brings us to level 4, Gil Eavis, who is hands down the biggest hypocrite in the entire show. Gil builds his entire political platform on being this pure, untouchable man of the people. He goes on TV, completely trashing billionaires, pointing fingers at Waystar Royco.
You want to make this personal? Let's talk about Logan Roy, shall we? The paymaster.
And acting like he is the moral savior of the working class. He even recruits Shiv Roy to run his campaign just to stick a knife directly in Logan's back.
I'm finalizing. Nate and me want you on the team. What do you think?
And for a second, you actually believe the guy has principles. But the moment Gil gets into a closed-door meeting with Logan Roy,
So, what is it you got against me?
all those morals just instantly vanish. Because the second Logan offers a truce to stop ATN's relentless smear campaign against Gil's deceased wife, Gil shakes his hand and completely sells out his supposed values. I mean, bro couldn't even make it to the primaries before giving up his soul for a media truce. He plays the righteous anti-billionaire crusader, but he's really just as power-hungry as the people he claims to hate. And honestly, it's that exact fake woke superiority that makes him so unbearable. 5. Rhea Jarrell. So, Rhea Jarrell comes into the picture acting like she is the absolute smartest person in the room. She starts out working for the Pierces, but literally plays both the Pierces and the Roys against each other to elevate herself.
Apologies. Well, I feel like the bell's the ball out here.
And since she manages to get Logan's attention, she thinks she is completely untouchable. I mean, she really thought she was the main character of the show, guys. But her hubris completely blinds her to what's actually going on, because Logan brings her in, flatters her massive ego, and sets her up to be the next CEO of Waystar.
Rhea Jarrell as my chief executive officer.
But it's a total trap. After she is fired by the Pierces at the Argest retreat, Logan maneuvers her into the Waystar CEO role, entirely intending to use her as the public scapegoat and fall guy for the massive cruise line scandal during the congressional hearings. What if she had just stayed loyal to Nan Pierce? She would have kept her millions and her pristine reputation, but her ego just wouldn't let her step away from the power.
Fine. Then plunge me. Go ahead. Try.
She flew too close to the sun and got completely burned.
Oh, welcome to Turnhaven, our city on the hill. Nan Pierce.
6. Nan Pierce. And speaking of the Pierces, you can't talk about Rhea's massive failure without bringing up her former boss.
It could have been any number.
I would like your resignation. I don't appreciate being hustled.
Y'all, Nan Pierce is the ultimate ethical billionaire hypocrite. She walks around her massive estate, quoting Shakespeare and acting as if her family's old money is somehow cleaner than Logan's toxic empire. But it is all a complete illusion, because remember that dinner scene at Turnhaven?
So Unitarian out here that we've given up on poor Jesus and we have started worshiping Shakespeare.
She literally forces her terrified maid Rosa to bring out the dinner roast, just so Nan can stand there and take all the credit for a humble, home-cooked meal in front of the Roys. I mean, the fake humility is actually nauseating. And when it comes to the actual business deals, she constantly sits there and says, "Oh, let's take the money out of it."
And I don't want to talk numbers. It's not about the numbers.
While actively playing the Roy kids against their own dad just to aggressively drive the bidding price up by literal billions. She plays the exact same dirty, manipulative games as Logan, but she just does it with a polite smile and a glass of expensive wine. 7. Nate Sofrelli. So Nate Sofrelli is this smug, self-righteous political operative who basically walks around the entire show with total NPC energy.
Well, I know really horrible guy.
He acts like he's morally superior to the Roy family and constantly judges them for their toxic media empire, but he is happily doing the dirty work for politicians like Eavis and Daniel Jimenez behind the scenes.
No hater. Appreciate it. But Daniel is troubled by out-of-control algos.
Because while he's busy pretending to be this pure progressive good guy, he's also sleeping with Shiv Roy right up until the eve of her wedding.
Relax. This isn't real.
I mean, the absolute audacity of this guy to stand in Tom's face, eat his food, and secretly hook up with his bride. But Nate's real toxicity is how he constantly plays the game while pretending he's totally above it. Look at the pre-election tailgate party in season 4. Nate shows up at Tom and Shiv's apartment, drinking their expensive wine and eating their food. But when Kendall tries to leverage ATN's influence to offer favourable coverage in exchange for regulatory favours, Nate rebuffs him by saying,
I'm not Gil. You're not Logan. That's a good thing.
He attends their events to maintain political access, yet constantly acts like he is too good to get in the mud with them. But the absolute best part of his entire existence on the show is when Tom finally snaps. Tom has completely had enough of the mind games and the disrespect, and he just corners Nate in the middle of his wedding party. He doesn't just ask him to leave. No. He forces Nate to pour his glass of wine back into the bottle.
Put my fucking wine back, now. Put it the
and kicks his smug ass right out of the room. I mean, the humiliation is just incredible. Honestly, guys, let me know in the comments if seeing Tom force Nate to pour that wine back is the most satisfying moment in the show. Because for me, it's not even close. 8. Marcia Roy. Marcia plays the role of the fiercely devoted, protective wife.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Right, get your coat.
Yeah.
But she is arguably one of the most calculated and ruthless operators in the entire show. At first glance, she just looks like Logan's loyal partner. But back in season 1, when Logan has his massive stroke and is lying in a hospital bed, Marcia completely gatekeeps him from his own children. She literally stands in the hallway and decides who gets to see their own father, wielding her proximity to Logan like a weapon.
Back to you. No discussion. I am his next of kin. I am his proxy.
But where she really proves her absolute genius is after the whole Rhea Jarrell affair. Because when Logan publicly humiliates her by parading Rhea around, Marcia literally extorts the man. She demands a massive financial payout and a permanent improvement in her standing in the family trust just to stand next to him for the cameras and pretend everything is totally fine. I mean, she turned a cheating scandal into a multi-million-dollar business transaction. And then, the absolute second Logan's heart stops beating on that plane in season 4, she flies back to New York and completely takes over.
We spoke every morning and afternoon, so I came as soon as I heard.
Okay.
She ruthlessly kicks Logan's mistress Kerry out of the house, having the staff call her a taxi to the subway. And before the body is even cold, she immediately starts taking offers to sell Logan's multi-million-dollar New York apartment, eventually selling it to Connor for $63 million.
So like 63 or...
Done?
While all the kids were running around crying, having panic attacks, and fighting for the CEO crown, Marcia just quietly walked away with millions in actual cash. Y'all, she played the game better than any of them. 9. Lukas Matsson. If we are exploring pure, unfiltered modern toxicity, Lukas Matsson is a prime example.
Could you send me a photo of their faces?
This guy walks around in bare feet, acting like some untouchable galaxy brain tech disruptor, but underneath it all, he is just a massive, manipulative edgelord. Because remember what he did to his own head of comms, Ebba? He literally stalked her and sent bricks of his own frozen blood to her in the mail.
Half a liter frozen blood brick. As a joke.
Just because he was obsessing over her. I mean, y'all, if any of us did that, we would be sitting in a maximum security prison. But he does it, and he gets to buy a global media conglomerate. But his actual business strategies are just as fraudulent. He acts like Gojo is this unstoppable tech giant, but he secretly faked his subscriber numbers in India to artificially inflate the company's valuation.
There's a little issue that we're looking into with subscriber numbers being...
And when the wars start closing in, he doesn't use his genius to fix it. No, he uses the Roy kids' massive daddy issues against them to swallow Waystar whole. He literally turns Shiv into his personal puppet. He promises her the American CEO spot.
An American CEO? Would that help make things feel a bit more culturally?
Using her as a political blood bag to secure US regulatory approval from Jared Mencken. And the exact second he gets what he wants, he completely discards her for Tom Wamsgans because he just wants a compliant frontman who will take the heat.
I'm not looking for a partner. You know, I'm looking for a front man.
He is a predator who hides behind noise-cancelling headphones and terrible tweets, proving that the tech bros are somehow even worse than the old-school billionaires. And then we have Ewan Roy, the guy who proves that sitting on the moral high ground is completely meaningless if you're still cashing the checks. Ewan spends the entire show looking down his nose at everyone, constantly lecturing his brother Logan about how the toxic Roy empire is destroying the planet.
Who may well be more personally responsible for the death of this planet.
But guys, it is all a weaponized fraud. Because let's look at the facts. In Season 1, when Kendall actually stages the vote of no confidence to finally remove Logan and clean up the company, Ewan has the deciding vote. If he actually cared about his morals, he would have voted Logan out right there and ended the madness. But what does he do? He votes to keep Logan in power.
Let's finish this, huh?
I vote with Logan.
Because at the end of the day, Ewan loves the money and his massive dividend checks just as much as his brother does. He just hates himself for it. And instead of actually doing something productive, he uses his wealth purely to inflict pain on his own family. Look at how he treats Greg. He dangles his massive inheritance over Greg's head for years.
Because that's quite a pretty penny.
Around 250 mil.
Demanding total obedience. And then he just abruptly rewrites his will to leave his entire $250 million estate to Greenpeace.
What?
I'm giving all my money to Greenpeace, Greg.
He didn't do it to save the whales, y'all. He did it strictly to punish his own grandson. He is the ultimate hypocrite. 11. Lady Caroline Collingwood. While it is hard to objectively rank the most harmful person on this show, Caroline's actions deeply contribute to her children's permanent trauma. While everyone else on this list ruined businesses or political careers, Caroline ruined her own blood. She completely weaponizes her coldness, constantly abandoning her kids when they need her the most.
But are they quite difficult things? Because, you know, a bit tired for...
I mean, she literally sits down with Shiv and tells her straight to her face that she should have had dogs instead of children.
Truth is, I probably should never have had children. I should have had dogs.
Who says that to their own kids? But one of her absolute worst moments, highlighting her destructive impact on the family, happens in the Season 3 finale. The Roy kids finally team up. They put aside all their backstabbing and march in to use their holding company shares to veto Logan's sale to Gojo.
A change of control needs a supermajority in the holding company. Mom got us that in the divorce.
But Logan is already one step ahead because he called Caroline, and behind her children's backs, she completely renegotiates her divorce settlement with Logan.
Your mother and I have been reviewing the terms of the divorce agreement.
She strips her own kids of their supermajority veto power, handing Logan the loaded gun to shoot them down. And why did she sell out her children's birthright? For a London flat for her pathetic new husband, Peter Munyon. She traded her kids' entire future for a piece of real estate. And guys, we're not just done yet. You can watch our awesome video on the right side. Yep, right here. Have a good one, and bye-bye.